Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm Daniel Norton. Welcome to my studio here in New York City. And today we're going to talk about developing a concept. This is actually a question I get a lot in various different ways. So I'm going to kind of do an overview here and hopefully we can get a discussion going, leave some comments below about maybe points I make here or things you want to add to it. Maybe we can make a longer video kind of getting into maybe even develop a fake concept or a concept as a group. We'll see. So what I mean by this is this. A lot of times people will have an idea. They'll be like, I want to photograph people with beards or whatever it might be, right? And that's your deal, right? So okay, well, you want to photograph people with beards because you want to do, you have this idea, you have this thing, you imagine, right? This gallery show with these huge, 4 foot by 8 foot prints of beards, right? And that's what you think of. You're just like, beards. But how do I do that? Like, where do I start? Where does it even begin? And that is actually why I think a lot of people don't get stuff done, because they think of that and then it just seems super overwhelming. So I sometimes say that, something looks like student work when I'm doing reviews. And what I mean by that is that it's got a great idea, but generally not a great execution, because when you're a student, you're usually still learning. You don't have necessarily the skill set, you don't have the resources, you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the connections, but you have all these awesome ideas, right? So what you tend to do, or as you develop through your career, I find, is that we tend to tighten up our ideas as we go to be more realistic. Because if you don't do that, I mean, I know many of young photographers that were young when I was young that never really did much in the long run, because every idea they had was through the roof, and it was always constant conversation about, oh, well, I can't get this done because I don't have a helicopter, and I need to fly to Jamaica to do this, and I got to dig a hole 50 feet in the ground in the middle of the highway, and all these awesome ideas that they have that they just couldn't execute. Whereas if me being, pragmatic, I'm just thinking, well, we got to get something done. So I would be like, okay, let me think of what's popular, what I like to do, what works, what fits my style. Oh, a really simple beauty shot. I can pull that off. I could do that in my living room, with nobody's going to know they're on my living room. I don't need, if you imagine a shot of somebody standing on the Eiffel Tower and it's important that they're on the Eiffel Tower, and I know you can Photoshop and stuff, but I'm saying, then, that becomes more difficult to do, right? That you need to be flying in a helicopter. Whereas if you say, well, a beautiful shot of somebody against a white background, I could shoot that anywhere. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have great projects. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. We're going to get into that now. So, okay, let's assume that you want to do a big project. You want to do this beard project. You're like, all right, I want to shoot these different kinds of beards. And, it's not just any beard, right? You want to have a variety of beards, different color beards, different length beards, different types of hair based on the ethnicity, let's say, of the people, different styles of beards as far as did I say styles already? But, maybe the cool, knotted beards and long beards and beards that are cut square and really tight beards and goatees. Is a goatee even a beard? Who knows, right? So you want to have all these different beards. So you need to figure out, right, how am I going to locate the people that are going to pose for these beard portraits? And what am I going to tell those people? Because ultimately I want to do these giant prints in this gallery, but no gallery wants my beard pictures yet because they don't know who I am. I'm assuming you've never showed in a gallery, right? So we've got to figure out so what we want to do is break this down into small steps. The worst thing you can do is just walk up to somebody and be like, I'm going to do this giant gallery show with huge things and I want to photograph your beard, because you have no way of guaranteeing that. You don't have a background doing it. You don't have any credentials, right? So what you've got to do is be realistic and look at that as a long-term goal. So what do I need to do to make this beard project work? I need a handful of great beard pictures so that I can then start approaching just random people, right? Because I probably only know so many people that have cool beards, and all the, not all, but some of the funky beards, rainbow beards and beards that wrap around the head and beards. Maybe I don't know anybody with beards like that. I know they exist, right? But I don't know anybody with a beard like that. What am I showing them? Am I showing them pictures of pretty girls that I've been shooting, or landscapes or whatever you're shooting? And they're going to be like, no, right? You want to show them beard pictures. So the very first thing we want to do is look at it like, okay, let's make some basic beard pictures. Then from there, we're going to, and those, again, you're going to try to use the resources around you. You're going to try to locate people that have good beards, or maybe go to a a grooming shop where they sell beard products, right? And maybe ask them if they know people or that they can. I mean, a lot of times the people that work there, right? If you go to any particular kind of store, usually you go to a camera store, who works there? People that are interested in photography. You go to a beard store, you're probably going to find people that are interested in beards with cool beards, right? So we're going to go to this beard store and we're going to maybe talk to the people there and we're going to be like, hey, I'd like to do your portrait, however. You show them the photos you have, obviously that's all you can do. What am I getting from it? They're going to think, well, you know what? I'll give you an 8x10 print. I'll let you use it for your LinkedIn, blah, 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 right? You're making these connections. And then as you get more and more beard pictures, it will be easier to recruit people. The first couple people you show the picture of your cat and you try to convince them to pose for a portrait, they're not going to be as hip to it as when you have 15 beard pictures that you can show. It's going to take time, so be realistic. Okay, I want to do X number of shots per month, and I'm going to make an effort to go to these different places to find people and make sure that you do it. Set yourself goals, move forward. Once you've got a decent showing of it, then you can go to a gallery and you want to have notes. So you can say, hey, it took me 6 months to photograph these 20 people with beards. I can produce another 20 shots that we can hang here. This is what I want to do. And assuming that the gallery likes your work, then you start negotiating with them there. Next thing you know, you're the beard photographer, you've got this show, you're traveling around the world, popping champagne, it's all wonderful, right? But you would have never got to that final space if you didn't just go to that first person. And that's really it. When you're trying to develop any kind of a project, well, the building doesn't fall down. When you're trying to develop any kind of project, you need to take it in small steps. And it's hard to do because we always want to look at that finish line. And you should put it up there. Put the finish line over here, right? But what are my steps to get there? And break it down and stick to it. That's the most important part. The thing about finishing any kind of long-term project is that you have to keep going. And that's where most photographers fail. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think about projects like this. Like, do you do projects like this? Do you have ideas to do projects like this? What are you guys doing? Let me know. If this was informative, like the video, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you get the notifications, and I'll see you next time.